Of all the hopeful dreams we carry, perhaps the most universal is the one where we discover a hidden treasure, a forgotten secret tucked away in a dusty attic or a long-ignored jewelry box. It's the fantasy that fuels the enduring magic of shows like the Antiques Roadshow, that an ordinary object, passed down through generations, could be the key to an extraordinary story and an unbelievable fortune. For one woman, that dream didn't just knock on her door. It blew it clean off its hinges, leaving an expert and a captivated audience utterly speechless. Imagine the scene: a sprawling English estate, the air buzzing with the quiet hum of anticipation. Hundreds of people stand in line, clutching everything from paintings and pottery to old toys and military medals. Each person carries a story, a question mark, a hope. Among them is a woman with a small collection of items, heirlooms that have been in her family for over a century. She knows they're special, but she's about to find out just how special they truly are. When her turn finally comes, she sits across from the show's jewelry expert, a man who has seen virtually everything. His eyes, trained by decades of experience, hold a calm, professional curiosity. The woman carefully unpacks her treasures, and the first item she presents is a pair of men's cufflinks. But these are no ordinary cufflinks. They don't gleam with a polished, predictable shine. Instead, they look like they were pulled directly from the earth, miniature nuggets of raw, untamed gold. Their surfaces are textured and uneven, capturing the light in 1,000 different ways. Nestled within this rugged beauty are the fiery sparks of diamonds and the deep, soulful glow of rubies. They are at once rustic and impossibly elegant, a paradox you can hold in your hand. The expert's professional calm begins to flicker, replaced by a spark of intense fascination. He leans in closer, his voice filled with a newfound reverence. He explains that this unique, textured style has a specific name in Russian, samuradak. It literally translates to nugget or self-born, a technique designed to mimic the raw, organic form of a gold nugget as it's found in nature. This, the expert says, a smile playing on his lips, is very, very Russian. He explains that this technique was a favorite of the most legendary name in Russian jewelry, the House of Fabergé. For a moment the air electrifies with the possibility. Could these be the work of the master jewelers to the Tsars? But history, like a good mystery, is full of twists. Upon closer inspection of the original leather case, the expert points out a maker's mark. It's not the famed Fabergé stamp. Instead, the name is Ivanov, a highly respected but less globally renowned jeweler from St. Petersburg. A momentary flicker of disappointment might have passed through a lesser guest, but the real story was just beginning to unfold. Because above Ivanov's mark was something far more significant: the unmistakable, intricate cipher of the Russian imperial family. The expert looks up, his eyes wide with the implications. "Do you have any idea who might have gifted these to your family?" he asks, his voice barely a whisper. This is where the woman's story truly comes to life. She reveals a family history that sounds like something from a historical novel. Her great-grandfather wasn't a nobleman or a diplomat. He was a celebrated chef, a culinary artist whose talent was so immense that it caught the attention of royalty. After a distinguished career working for the famously opulent Rothschild family, he was personally recruited to serve in the kitchens of none other than King Edward VII, and before him, Queen Victoria. He was a man who crafted feasts for the most powerful people in the world. And in an age of lavish diplomacy, a magnificent gift was the highest form of compliment. The woman explains that throughout his career, her great-grandfather had been honored with gifts from various heads of state who had been moved by his artistry. She then confidently shares her family's belief: the cufflinks were a personal gift from Tsar Nicholas I himself. The expert nods, the pieces of the puzzle clicking into place in his mind. The history supports it entirely. The Tsar and his family were closely related to the British royals. He was a first cousin to King George V, and he made a well-documented visit to London and the royal estate at Sandringham. It was not just possible. It was incredibly probable that the ruler of all Russia would present such a personal, beautiful gift to the king's chef as a token of gratitude. The woman, now beaming, shares a faded photograph of her ancestor, a proud man standing with his family, forever immortalized. He was a man who had stood in the background of history, yet his legacy was now taking center stage. But there was more. She presented several other pieces. She explained, with a touch of loving family lore, that her